guys, it's Lainey. Before I get started, let me explain. 1. You're probably wondering why I'm in my bathtub right now. Don't ask questions. 2. Yes, I am wearing a swimsuit, and it's because I am insecure. 3. This is ginger ale. Today I wanted to discuss the many awkward boy stories I have had in my life. I don't know what I did to attract these kind of people into my life, but it just happened, and I'm sure that worse things have happened to other people, but I enjoy telling these stories because they just... what? So let's just get started. I'm gonna start off with a story from when I was only 5 years old. So there was this kid, and I'm obviously not going to name names because I do not want these people to find out. I haven't been talking about them. So let's just name this kid Rick. Okay, so Rick. So I was in kindergarten, and you know me, I'm this like cute ass kindergartner with my little uniform on and shit. I'm poppin'. He knows that he wants it. So this kid, Rick, he follows me around all the time. I mean all the time. I literally am going around with my best friend and he's there. Like, he just wants my attention all the time, and I mean, I'm not blaming him. So me and my best friend at the time, we were discussing what was happening, and she was like,
I know what we can do to get rid of him.
She basically tells me that we should put him in the sandbox. You better stop! Her plan was that we were going to just tell him to get in the sandbox, and then we were going to put top on it so he couldn't get out of the sandbox. So basically, we lured him into the sandbox and we put the lid on top, and he was trapped in there as we sat on top of the lid of the sandbox so he couldn't escape. And little me, I didn't know the difference between what wasps and moths were. So I meant to tell him that there was moss in the sandbox, but I told him there were wasps in the sandbox. So then he proceeded to freak out and like flail inside the sandbox as we were trapping him inside it. And I feel so bad every time I tell this story because what was I doing? Why would I trap him in the sandbox? That's not gonna do anything for me. That's not gonna do anything for anyone. It's just gonna traumatize him. I still feel guilty about it to this day. I'm so sorry, Rick, if you're watching this. Like, I am so sorry. So the next boy I'm gonna be talking about is a boy that was also in my class. So your girl was obsessed with High School Musical, okay? So I thus invited my friend over for a sleepover. And guess what we did? We sang to High School Musical songs. That's pretty much what we did that night. We put on the movie and we sang and danced to all the songs. So we're dancing to the song Bop to the Top, which is like the best song in High School Musical 1. You know when Sharpay like climbs up the ladder and like touches the top of the ladder because it's like, that's the top. We had a mantle in our living room which had a giant painting on it. So my plan was that I was gonna reenact that part of the song and climb up onto the fireplace and touch the mantle. So when I did do that, the mantle collapsed and fell on me. It literally came off the wall, the painting and the mantle, and fell on me. I literally almost broke my leg. I was like on the floor, covered by this giant painting, just like a squished bug, like, oh, what just happened? I just was attacked by this giant painting. And my friend was freaking out. She didn't know what to do. My mom was freaking out. She was like,
oh my god, do you need to go to the hospital?
No, do not take me to the hospital, please, because I'm fine. My mom decided it would be best if my friend just went home. So she called up her mom, and her mom came to pick me up. I did not know this was occurring, but her brother, her twin brother, was having a sleepover with the boy I had a crush on. I go to the door with my mom to welcome her mother to pick her up, and my crush is standing there looking at me, all crippled and crying. I'm just a mess. Like, I literally just got attacked by a giant painting, and I felt so embarrassed because I was just a mess, and he was just looking at me like,
is she okay?
No, I wasn't okay because he saw me like that, and I can never. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So there is this kid. Let's name him Lima Bean. When we were younger, he had a fat crush on me. And when I mean he had a fat crush, Just wait and see what I'm about to tell you. There's 2 stories I'm about to tell you about this kid. When I was maybe like, I don't know, 9 years old, he was over at my house for a sleepover with my little brother. I'm gonna start off with the more minor one because that one happened first. But then I'm going to get to the one that literally shakes me to my core every time I think about it. Lima Bean's over for a sleepover, and you know, like, we're just having a good time. My best friend at the time is over. This is the same girl that convinced me to put freaking Rick in the sandbox. Lima Bean's about to leave to go back home after the sleepover. And me and my bestie, we're just in my room playing Barbies, you know how it is. Lima Bean just comes running in and he tackles me. And in that moment, I just was like, what is going on? Why is this happening? I thought you were leaving. Why? And he just kisses me and then runs away. And I just look over at my friend like, what just happened? We're only little kids, so it doesn't really like count as anything. It was just a little friendly peck, you know. He was like 7 years old, okay? And so he comes back in and does the same thing again. And he comes in like 5 times and just keeps tackling me and smooching me on my face. I did not ask for this, sweaty. I'm just trying to play Barbies, okay? I'm gonna move on to the weirdest thing that's happened to me. It's honestly really endearing and sweet. It was just really weird. I'm like 12 years old. And guess who's over? The same friend that put Rick in the sandbox with me. We're having another group sleepover. This is literally like 3 years later. We're all at my house. And I had a babysitter for a while. Well, not me. My little brother had a babysitter for a while. She was over watching us all. I don't know what Lima Bean was thinking, but he comes up to me and he's like,
hey, do you have a ring?
And I just say, no, I'm sorry, I don't have a ring. I'm just sat there confused. And then 30 minutes later, we're all outside playing, and he comes up to me, bends down on one knee, and then says,
will you marry me when we're older?
What am I supposed to say to that? And so what do? I just run away. I don't say anything, I just run. Honestly, I just am so freaking confused. Like, what does he see in me? I literally looked like a shrimp. I had like a bush on my forehead from when I tried to cut my own bangs. So we're just in my room chilling, and suddenly I see a piece of paper slip underneath my door. I pick it up and open it, and it is a love letter from him. It was really sweet, and there was like a really funny drawing of him proposing to me on the other side of the piece of paper. I remember it just was saying stuff like,
oh, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever met, and I love you so much, I hope you marry me one day.
I didn't know what to do with that. I was just so confused. And not gonna lie, I still have that letter somewhere in my bedroom. And then our babysitter comes up and knocks on my door and is like,
hey Lainey, can I talk to you for a second?
And then she proceeds to tell me that she'd like to take me and Lima Bean out so we can have a date. I remember I was kind of excited for it because I got to like dress up for no reason. And you know it's fun to get dressed and stuff and look all pretty. Our babysitter takes us to Zoe's kitchen. We're sitting there.
Barbecue sauce on my titties.
And I just keep going into the bathroom with my friend and talking to her like, why is this going on? What do? I feel so awkward. It was fun, you know, nothing bad happened. We had a good time. Me and him sat alone at a 2-person table and just talked. You know, it's fine. It might still be awkward every time I see him, but hopefully we can look past that. Well, thank you so much for watching me ramble about these things. You can subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.